Hello everybody, my name is Dr. Nguyen Tran, and today I'd like to do a video about my personal experience with medical overseas. Well, first of all, I'm a chiropractor, so my purpose and mission in my office is make sure we take care of our health and preferably maintain our health while we still have it. But sadly, 99% of the people don't do that. And so here's an example of I try to reach what I teach, which make me healthier. And more motivate myself, but something happened to me it's actually exactly a year today. The 30th of July last year is the day I actually had my thyroid removed in Vietnam. So what happened is I travel to Vietnam quite often to visit family and do medical mission, kind of like that. And because it's so affordable over there, I usually always get some thorough scanning, like ultrasounds, MRIs, CT scan, that I think is important for our health. So like any other year, last year I went back and I had an ultrasound, and then I found out I had thyroid cancer. Now the ironic thing was right before my trip to Vietnam, I have full blood work and my thyroid level was perfectly normal. Nothing wrong, no symptom whatsoever. But because I get my ultrasound over there, number one, it's very cheap. They do it very professional. And each of the doctor that did the ultrasound, they specialize in one particular group. So like say you go to different stations, the one that do the heart only do the heart, the one do the lung, or the one that do the liver or the throat, they only do that. So they're actually really good at what they do, and I get in and out within like 45 minutes, and the price is extremely affordable. So because of that scan, I found I have thyroid cancer, and then I have to make a decision between, come back to the US and have it do or remove or do it there. But from the experience I had with the doctor I met at the hospital who did the second ultrasound, did my biopsy, I was amazed. You get my biopsy within like 30 seconds. I'm a chiropractor and do acupunctures. And I mean, the way he put that needle and then take the biopsy, it was amazingly fast and professional. So it made me thinking, if he's like that good, he worked from 7 in the morning to 6 o'clock, 7 days a week, 6 days a week. After a while, you'll be really master of the art. So I decided to get my surgery done there, and I'm glad I did, because everything went really smooth. And same thing, the costs that I had to pay was so minimal compared to, even if I have good insurance here, the co-pay that I have to pay if I get surgery there would be like 7-8 times more than what I pay for my surgery in cash in Vietnam. So I like to say with you guys, people say, oh, Dr. how do you know that you do that? I don't. But my goal is to, if I know whatever I can do to help myself, to make sure that everything's work okay, then I'm willing to do it. And like I said, just because you're healthy, there's no guarantee that you will not get disease. But being healthy, meaning when something happens, you have a better chance of fighting at it. And then this year, I just came back 2 weeks ago. I have another incident where, one of my teeth implant was fall out, and then I had to have emergency treatment there. But then same thing, I stumbled on this doctor who specialize in implant, and it's an amazing experience. I couldn't praise enough because he's extremely professional, very knowledgeable, and the equipment he had was state-of-the-art. So before, when people say, oh, I go to Vietnam and do my implant thing and that, I was not really go along with it because I see some pretty bad work. In a way, I feel a little biased, like if you get any real dental work, do it here. It's safer. But then I changed my mind, because when you go overseas, you make sure you do research thoroughly. You make sure you know the doctor who treats you, the clinic who treats you, that are they, legit. And if you know someone, previous patient, and then refer you, then that's the way to go. But you can't, because you can't always rely on the review, because over there, review, they can buy a review. So just because it's a 5-star doesn't mean it is what it is. But like I said, it's a lot more affordable. But like I said, you have to compare the local price and make sure don't go for cheap, go for quality work. But regardless of what, it's a lot cheaper than here when you have to pay. And even when I had my surgery in Vietnam, I came back here For me to find an endocrinologist, it took 3 months. So I'm not saying like medical treatment here is not good. It's just right day. I mean, if you have something urgent or bad, by the time you go see somebody, it might be a lot more serious than it is. So for those of you who really care for your health, and like me, I would fly over there, do my scan. Actually, I have one patient actually did that. He actually went to Vietnam and Thailand for his summer trip, and he actually went to the clinic. I did my scan and do a thorough checkup. Why not? Because it's 1/10 of the price. So the cost of paying for the ticket and hotel, go over there and enjoy, have a vacation, and have yourself check up. Just like, for example, an MRI for the brain. I actually had an MRI to check all that over there. It's like $100. Over here, $2,000-3,000 easily. Even with insurance, you'll pay like hundreds of dollars. So, like I said, I'm just sharing with you my experience. And to be preventative, it's not just doing the blood test and then take your blood pressure. That's not enough. It takes a lot more than that. You have to listen to your body. You have to watch, how everything is going. Keep yourself fit, and then you have to do more scan than just a, simple blood work. Oh, actually, it's interesting that you bring it up, because this time I went back. I actually took my wife to this particular hospital to have the full checkup, and I saw an elderly couple. They must be in their like 70, 80, and they both speak English, but there's one person assigned to them that speak English and take them to do from A to Z. Even we have a lady when we're scheduling, she actually take care of us. She had to call and she follow up and all that stuff. So you don't have to worry about. That's one thing about, I think in Vietnam is, you have money, the service is top notch. And I'm not talking about ridiculous amount of money either, because my wife gets everything from the whole day there, do all kinds of scans and mammograms and all that stuff, and it's $200, $300. You can't beat that. And the same thing, the service is not like just cheap and quick. They have, technology is quite amazing over there too. I wouldn't give that kind of advice. I'm not feel comfortable with, but when you go there, you tell them what you want, and they recommend. You want to see a doctor, you want to do the blood test, this and that, because they have a package there. Same thing when I call and then schedule my wife. They say, okay, what do you want to do? They have everything from like a full everything package to like you can select whatever you want. Just for me, like, because I already had my ultrasound last year, I told them I don't want this, I don't want this, and then according to that, they give you the price accordingly. So they have expert there, because they know it, like it's very popular now. Not just like that elderly couple. They came in and they tell them what they want, and they get all the setup there. Thank you once again for listening to me. I love to share this just so that, who knows, someone out there might have the same purpose as me. But I think it's time for us to take our health in our own hands. I think we've been relying so long on the insurance company, the doctor, this, that. You want to be healthy, you have to be responsible for yourself. You have to make time for yourself. You have to start doing things that you think that you need. Just like maintenance of the car, right? You don't wait until it broke down to do it every 7,000 miles. You take it in for checkup, you take it in for tire rotation. When was the last time you take yourself in for something, right? So you have to be responsible for that. It doesn't have to be expensive. Like if you have a yearly vacation, you might as well, if next time you plan a vacation to Southeast Asia, might as well add a couple of extra days, to put yourself in for these kind of checkups. That's how I did it. And if any of you decide to travel to Vietnam and like to go to the same place I did, I'm more than happy to refer the place to you guys. Just send me a message, and I'm more than happy to refer you to this particular hospital. So see you next time.